Please be seated. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's Winter Award ceremony. And to all our students and award recipients this morning, this is our university's moment to celebrate your achievements as graduates. And I trust that your family and friends, some of whom no doubt have travelled long distances to be with you this morning, can share in our pride of your success. As you reflect on your time at the university, I hope you feel that you have made the most of what we have to offer, whether that be the academic and research facilities or the wide variety of activities through the university's societies and clubs, or perhaps the opportunity to engage with the wider community of Bath. Whichever, I hope that you have forged good and, with luck, long-lasting friendships, as well as many happy memories. There are many ways in which our university and students impact on the wider society, although it's perhaps in the sporting arena where we often attract the most immediate attention. And as momentum builds towards the 2016 Rio Olympic and Paralympic Games, athletes, coaches, researchers and students will convene at the university in January for a sports performance conference to build stronger links between the latest sports science research from around the world with athletes' performances on the pitch. And the conference will consider how physiology, nutrition, coaching education, psychology, and talent spotting all go together to impact on individual and team performance across a range of sports. Actually, that's a bit the same as the university itself, actually. It's quite a good analogy, really. Now, there was a piece of research by our Department for Health which has found that stirring table sugar into a water bottle before a big physical event could be the difference between success or failure. And in essence, it appears that combining different sources of sugars improves the rate at which we can absorb these from the gut and prevent fatigue. And the researchers found that glucose-only sports performance drinks designed to provide energy during exercise could produce gut discomfort. And suggest those using sucrose or a mixture of glucose and fructose can help make exercise easier, or sugar in water. I don't know about you, but I find it works quite well in tea and coffee as well. It's just really nice to know that that's all right. So, now staying with the health theme, our Department of Chemistry, in collaboration with the Healing Foundation Children's Burns Research Centre based at the Bristol Children's Hospital and the University of Brighton, have developed a prototype smart medical dressing that changes colour when it detects infection, thus improving treatment for burns patients and help to reduce the unnecessary use of antibiotics. And this is particularly important for children who are more susceptible to bacterial infections because of their immature immune systems. And I mention that because I think that it's a very valuable piece of research and development, but my wife is also patron of the Healing Foundation, so she's actually quite interested in that piece of development as well. Now, meanwhile, our Department for Electronic and Electrical Engineering, with funding from Sir Bobby Charlton's charity, Find a Better Way, is developing an innovative new camera system capable of detecting landmines underground. And early indications are that the technology can differentiate between images of plastic and metallic elements within a single device at depths of up to 10 centimeters underground on varied terrain. And such a breakthrough could make mine clearance much easier and a lot safer. So I look forward to how that develops over time. And finally, I couldn't help but notice that Dr. Nick Longrich, a paleontologist from the Milner Centre for Evolution, based in our Department of Biology and Biochemistry, continues to be in the university news. Firstly, concerning the discovery of a four-legged snake, and now for identifying a dog-sized horned dinosaur from a lost continent. Great. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. Anyway, now to paraphrase Dr. Longrich, and he of the new theory on the Brontosaurus. Now, forgive me, that was you had to be here last year to understand that reference, and you still have to be a fan of Monty Python to understand it as well. But, as he says, studying fossils from the late Cretaceous period, when the sea levels were very high and the land masses across the Earth were very fragmented, is like looking at several individual or independent experiments in dinosaur evolution. And this horned dinosaur adds to the theory that North America was two land masses separated by a stretch of water, stopping animals from moving between them and causing animals in Appalachia to evolve in a completely different direction, resulting in some pretty weird-looking dinosaurs. That's Nick's phrase, not mine, I have to say. I'm sorry, only apologies, I don't have a picture to show you of this particular one, but anyway, there we go. But he's quite sure that there are still many more species yet to be found. Anyway, I quite enjoyed all that. Fantastic. Now, listen, I better get back to the task in hand. Part of which is to welcome our special guest this morning, Councillor Ian Gilchrist, who's chairman of the Bath and North East Somerset Council. And the university is enormously grateful for the support and cooperation of both the district council as well as the city. And we're delighted that the district is represented today by their chairman. So please will you extend our thanks and appreciation to all members of the Bath and North East Somerset Council. Thank you. Now, and I'm sure today's graduands will join me in thanking those who have provided guidance, help and support during their time here. And I pay particular tribute to the staff in our academic departments, schools and partner colleges who fill students with enthusiasm for their subjects, and especially acknowledge the role of all the other members of our community whose contribution is essential to our continued success. And now it's time to take the next step in your chosen careers. And whatever you choose to do, we wish you the very best of luck, and that you put everything that you have learned here to excellent use. We will continue to watch your careers with interest, and in turn, I hope you will take more than just a passing interest in the fortunes of this university. In spite of its relative youthfulness, Bath University has established itself as a major player in this country and, I believe, a popular place to study and research. And I also sense that we have the potential to achieve much more. And our challenge is to build our international reputation and establish more multinational research links. And as graduates ready to face the world, you embody that potential and the feeling of optimism that it brings. And I trust that when and if the opportunity arises, you will feel able to put in a good word for us. So with that thought, I wish all our graduates today every success in the future, wherever that leads you. And my final and most pleasing duty is to commend the Honorary Graduands today. We have Dr. Frank Duckworth, who will be accepting the honorary degree of Doctor of Science in recognition of his distinguished contributions to the use and public appreciation of statistics, especially in cricket. And also Professor John Dudley, who will be accepting the honorary degree of Doctor of Science in recognition of his distinguished contributions in the field of optics and to its popularization through the UNESCO International Year of Light. So both of you are most welcome. Now, we have a special award to start proceedings this morning, and the Vice-Chancellor's Research Medal is awarded in recognition of the research contribution of senior academic members of the university on the basis of a record of sustained research, excellence and impact. And the 2015 Vice-Chancellor's Research Medal, am I supposed to announce this now? Or would you like to announce it?
Sir, it's completely yours.
I will leave you to announce who's going to be the winner of this year's prize, if I may. Vice-Chancellor, to you.
Chancellor, it's my great pleasure to present Professor Lawrence Hurst. He is the recipient this year of the Vice-Chancellor's Research Medal. Professor Lawrence Hurst is a leading researcher into the evolution of genes and genomes. He is a professor of evolutionary genetics and director of the Milner Center for Evolution in the Department of Biology and Biochemistry. His work is pioneering in understanding whether selection might operate on what have commonly been assumed to be unimportant mutations. For example, synonymous mutations, small genome rearrangements. This work has applications for the diagnosis and treatment of genetic diseases, as well as for gene and genome manipulation. The groundbreaking nature of his contributions, exemplified by a long list of highly cited publications in the world's top scientific journals, is widely recognized in a field known for its revolutionary thinkers and big personalities. Professor Hurst joined the university in 1997 after working as professorial research fellow at Collegium Budapest, senior research fellow at Churchill College, Cambridge, among other posts at both Cambridge and Oxford universities. And after spending a number of years as Horace Le Marquand and Dudley Bigg Research Fellow of the Royal Society. His D.Phil in zoology is from Oxford University. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts and Sciences in 2003. This year, 2015, Professor Hurst was elected a Fellow of the Academy of Medical Sciences, won Publication Year Prize from the German Stem Cell Society, and, to top it all, was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society, the highest scientific honour in the United Kingdom. He is currently the holder of a prestigious advanced grant from the European Research Council. Professor Hurst is on the editorial board of a large number of journals in his area of research and has published widely with a large range of home and international collaborators. These include academics from, for example, the Ontario Institute for Cancer Research, the University of Chicago, Penn State, the Spanish National Biotechnology Center, and the universities of course, the universities of Cambridge, Oxford, Edinburgh, and Exeter, among many others. He has also presented a large number of named lectures both in the UK and abroad. It's the opinion of the university that Lawrence Hurst is eminently suitable for the award of the Vice-Chancellor's Research Medal. So.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you very much. For all you do, we really appreciate it. Good. I now declare this congregation open for the presentation of graduates and for the conferment of honorary degrees.
Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded taught degrees within the Department of Biology and Biochemistry. Will the graduates please rise?
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon each of you a degree of the University of Bath with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the graduates please be seated? Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Research. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Research in Biosciences, Bisa Andov. Rachel Ann Russell. Ladies and gentlemen, just to avoid confusion, what we traditionally do is to applaud after groups of students on particular degree programs. So my colleagues on the platform will help you understand when we traditionally clap. Thank you. Master of Research in Developmental Biology, Shana Emily Zoe Lunn. Master of Research in Molecular Microbiology, Emily Rebecca Tapp. Holly Tipper. Master of Research in Protein Structure and Function, Emily Louise Adam. Hannah Beatrice Louise Jones. Master of Research in Regenerative Medicine, Adam Timothy Gill. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Science. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Science in Biosciences, Jonathan Allen Hake. Geraldine Jane Hurdson. Binsi Mukaluvela Kunjaman. Master of Science in Evolutionary and Population Biology, James Elliott Humphreys. Master of Science in Medical Biosciences, Abigail Dorothy Askey. Katie May Barnby. Claire Catamole. Michael Gobbs. David Kellaway. Yanan Lee. Carmen Fernanda Ramos Delgado. Ran Zalik. Master of Science in Molecular Microbiology, Mustafa Mohammed M. Thagar. Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded research degrees within the Department of Biology and Biochemistry. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Muna Mohammed Eldaljawi.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Atahualpa Castillo Morales.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded taught degrees within the Department of Computer Science. Will the graduates please rise?
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon each of you a degree of the University of Bath with all the rights, privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the graduates please be seated? Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Bachelor of Science in Applied Computing, James Robert David Besant. James Blanksby. James Dewar. Matthew Richardson. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Charlie Ann Page. Robert Taylor. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Science. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Science in Human-Computer Interaction, Shahad Musa El Mansour. Latife Thanayan O Al-Shamari. Neela Arokia Mary Anthony Das. Yang Hong. Chen Jing. Thomas Lonert. Ekaterini Zippi. Master of Science in Internet Systems and Security, Zhengxiang Huang. Evsevia Konstantinou Kyriakou. Bo Yu. Zigoi Zhang. Xiaojing Zhao. Master of Science in Software Systems, Edward Bradley. Ruilong He. Sotarula Ianu. Andrew Richard Lawrence. Amy Maistaz. Fahid Rabiu Mohammed. Hongwei Tong. Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded research degrees within the Department of Computer Science. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Engineering. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive his degree certificate? Charalampos Koniaris.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Engineering.
Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive his degree certificate? Thomas Richard Saunders.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded taught degrees within the Department of Mathematical Sciences. Will the graduates please rise?
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon each of you a degree of the University of Bath with all the rights, privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the graduates please be seated? Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive his degree certificate? Bachelor of Science in Mathematical Sciences, Yin Ho Chan. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Master of Research. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive his degree certificate? Master of Research in Statistical Applied Mathematics, Matthew Lloyd Thomas. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Science. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Science in Mathematical Sciences, Daniel Luke Hoskins Green. Leah Holland. Master of Science in Modern Applications of Mathematics, Eleanor Jane Adams. Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded research degrees within the Department of Mathematical Sciences. I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Horacio Gonzalez Duhart Munoz de Cote.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Terence James Taylor Norton.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. So I now call upon the University Orator to present a candidate for the degree Honoris Causa.
Chancellor, it is my pleasure to introduce to you and the congregation Dr. Frank Duckworth. Badly or wrongly used, statistics can easily become misleading or confusing. In skilled hands, such as Dr. Duckworth's, they can also be used to clarify, to simplify, and to explain. Frank Duckworth has spent his career clarifying, simplifying, and explaining things by the use of statistics. Quite incidentally, doing this has made him famous. In fact, since almost every Indian knows his name, he may well be the most famous person present here today. Dr. Duckworth's fame arises from his work with the mathematician Dr. Anthony Lewis, in which they used statistics to solve a particularly difficult problem that arises in the game of cricket, namely, what to do when it rains. This may not seem very important, because cricket is often perceived as a minority sport played in only a few countries. That is wrong. In reality, it is the second most popular sport in the world. The value of television rights for major tournaments runs into billions of pounds. The fairness of the outcome of cricket matches is, consequently, a matter of considerable economic importance, as well as being of great interest to a very large number of people. Two peculiar features of cricket combine to create a problem here. Firstly, despite having been invented in England, it cannot be played in the rain. Secondly, it is fundamentally asymmetric. Instead of two teams both trying to do the same thing at the same time, the teams take turns to bat. So, if a match is curtailed by rain, one cannot simply look at the score at that point and see which team has scored more runs. One side has had its complete innings, and the other has not. Some estimate of the likely final score is needed, and estimates are the realm of statistics. Several systems were tried to solve this problem. None of them worked until Dr. Duckworth and Dr. Lewis devised a mathematical model to construct the celebrated Duckworth-Lewis method, which is generally accepted as fair. But it is not enough to invent a good system. It needs to be adopted for actual use. In the modern terminology, there needs to be impact. Somebody had to explain it to the administrators. Fortunately, Frank Duckworth has been explaining statistics for a long time. His initial training was not in statistics at all. He was a metallurgist. After graduating from Liverpool, he worked at the Berkeley Nuclear Laboratory of the Central Electricity Generating Board. There, he came to realize the importance of statistics, not just to ensure reactor safety, but also to assure the public that the reactors are safe. At that time, there were no statisticians working at the laboratories, so he set about making himself into a statistician. Then, he had to convince his colleagues and others of the power of statistics, and spreading that idea has been at the core of everything he has done since. Persuading the cricket administrators that statistics could help them was just another example of that. Both cricket and nuclear reactors are specialized applications of statistics. Dr. Duckworth reached a different audience through his voluntary work for the Royal Statistical Society. For 2 decades, he edited their news magazine, often contributing editorials on matters relating to the public perception of risk. Quietly but effectively, in boardrooms and in public, he has encouraged the use of statistics and mathematics and overcome distrust and misunderstanding of them. And he has now carried that message to hundreds of millions of people. And South Africa should have been asked to score 4, not 22, off the last ball of that semi-final against England. Chancellor, I present to you Frank Duckworth, who is eminently worthy to receive the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
So, by virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science.
Is this at the back or the front? No, that's the side. The side is correct orientation. If you'd like to give your speech. I'm not at all sure I can really claim to be the most famous person in this room. Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed the case that statistics has not had the best of reputations with the public at large. But I do rather wonder if the discipline itself isn't at least partly to blame. For instance, as has just been referred to by the orator, when I took up my employment at the Berkeley Laboratories in the mid-60s, I very soon realized that although a substantial proportion of the work there involved the analysis and interpretation of numerical data, out of over 300 graduates, there was not one with a degree in statistics. Not only that, but there were no more than 2 or 3 who knew anything about statistical techniques at all. So I took it upon myself to study statistics, and I learned about regression, correlation, significance testing, analysis of variance. And I realized that there was a whole science out there that we in industry and engineering were largely ignorant of. And I asked myself the question, why on earth hadn't I been taught statistics within my science and engineering courses at university? Now, over the years, the Royal Statistical Society has made several attempts to improve the appreciation of the discipline and to reach out to areas of application. And back in 1992, it took up my offer to organize a session on statistics in sport at its annual conference. And I decided that I would use this session to talk about some of the ways in which I felt that statistical analysis could be of benefit to the sports themselves. And one of the examples I gave was in solving the long-running problem of how to make a fair correction to targets in rain-interrupted one-day cricket matches. We'd recently witnessed that infamous incident that the orator has referred to. When South Africa were playing against England, they needed 22 runs to win off 13 balls. And then there was a shower of rain, and this meant that the match was reduced by 2 overs. And using a new method of correction that had just been introduced, it was found that their target was still to make 22 runs, but they now had only 1 ball in which to do it. Well, inspired by that incident, I had devised a mathematical formula as the basis of a fair target correction, and I suggested in my presentation that a statistical analysis of matched data to put numbers into my formula would make a useful university research project. And the message got back to a mathematics lecturer at the University of the West of England by the name of Tony Lewis. Tony and I got together, and a few years later, the Duckworth-Lewis method was born. And it's now been the world standard for nearly 20 years. But when it first appeared, it was received by a very skeptical media. They had the attitude that mathematics was something that you left behind when you left school. They made no attempt to understand how it worked, and they reported that the method was totally incomprehensible. And they insulted it by picking up on my name. So I had a very crass editorial in Wisden entitled Duck Soup. And BBC commentators started to refer to it as the Vera Duckworth method. This, I understand, being a fictional lady who appeared in a TV soap opera about a street in the Manchester area. The truth, of course, is that resetting targets was a mathematical problem, and so it required a mathematical solution. And despite the initial media reaction, it's passed the test of time, and after nearly 20 years, results using the method are now reported with barely any comment. I should like to think that my legacy, along with my colleague Dr. Tony Lewis, has been to contribute to raising the profile of mathematics and statistics and showing the public that these disciplines have considerable value beyond the world of academia. Chancellor, I am deeply honoured to receive this award. Thank you.
Chancellor, I present a graduate in the Faculty of Science who has been awarded a taught degree within natural sciences. Will the graduate please rise? Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive her degree certificate?
Can I just vest her in the degree? Would that be all right?
Sorry?
Can I just vest her in the degree? Sorry, just before you come up. So by the authority vested in me...
Excuse me.
Well, somebody knows what's going on, isn't it? Now, by the authority vested in me, I confer upon you a degree of the University of Bath with all the rights, privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Now.
Right. Bachelor of Science in Natural Sciences. Megan Guy. Sorry about that. Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded taught degrees within the Department of Chemistry. Will the graduates please rise?
So by the authority vested in me, I confer upon each of you a degree of the University of Bath with all the rights, privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the graduates please be seated? Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Research. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Research in Chemistry, Ethan Linley Duffy. Shualun Lee. Master of Research in Sustainable Chemical Technologies, James Courtney. Daniel Davies. Naomi Elston. Dominic William Fadani. Andrew Mark Ragdale Hall, winner of the Warrod Prize for Sustainable Chemical Technologies. Oliver Stephen Hammond. Robert Henry Hicks. Michael Joys. Richard Peter Maltby. Sophia Rykova. Sean Chung Ming Rood. Katarzyna Anna Smoog. Suzanne Kim Wallace. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Science. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Science in Chemistry for Drug Discovery, Carl Georg Fuchs. Yu Jin. Dale Milbourne. Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded research degrees within the Department of Chemistry. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Dugu Celebi.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Alexander Gregory Nicholas Coxon.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Emma Louise Dalton.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Liam Emmett.
Confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Sian Elizabeth Evans.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Haobao Gi.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Sean Goggins.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Louise Blythe Hamdy.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Christopher Edward Hodgson.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Grace Elizabeth Margaret Lewis.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Boyang Mao.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Alexander Thomas Murray.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
David Andrew Tickell.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Stephen Yendall.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded taught degrees within the Department of Pharmacy and Pharmacology. Will the graduates please rise?
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon each of you a degree of the University of Bath with all the rights, privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the graduates please be seated? Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive his degree certificate? Bachelor of Science in Pharmacology, Adam James Hargreaves. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Master of Pharmacy. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Master of Pharmacy, Jalhara Udafiri. Kun Yin Cheng. Yu Ching Chung. Richard Chuan Lun Lee. Alexander Redford. Man Mandy Young. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been awarded the degree of Master of Science. Will the graduate please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive his degree certificate? Master of Science in Clinical Pharmacy Practice, Secondary Care, Christopher Robert McCorkadale. Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded research degrees within the Department of Pharmacy and Pharmacology. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Jennifer Ball.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Flora Bunga.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Bertrand Gilbert Roger Dupont.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Terence Cantner.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Alex Lench.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Chancellor, I present graduates in the Faculty of Science who have been awarded research degrees within the Department of Physics. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the graduates please come forward to be presented to the Chancellor and to receive their degree certificates? Duncan Locke.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Ian Richard Thompson.
I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I call upon the University Orator to present a candidate for a degree honoris causa.
Chancellor, it is my pleasure to introduce Professor John Dudley, a physicist with a global reputation for the quality of his research and particularly for his leadership of the field. John Dudley studied at the University of Auckland, gaining his PhD in 1992. He did postdoctoral research at St Andrews before returning to Auckland as a lecturer. In 2000, he was appointed professor at the University of Franche-Comté in Besançon, where he heads the optoelectronics and photonics research group. His research is into nonlinear optics and the strange behavior of waves, but his interests are far wider and include much of physics, the benefits of education, and public engagement. He is an avid Twitter user and a widely sought speaker on topics as diverse as the benefits of supporting pure research, freak events in nature, nonlinear fiber optics, and how to forge a career in academia. Physicists often come as one of two flavors, experimentalists and theoreticians. In the field of optics, experimentalists work with lasers, lenses, fibers, and electronics. They're practical people, and they need the skills of an engineer, spending much of their time tinkering with equipment. Theoreticians need none of that. They work with equations, sometimes paper and pencil, or at other times a computer. Their time is spent reading, talking, working on a computer, or thinking. Theoreticians are often best able to link different areas of research through identifying the similarity in the underlying mathematics. Unusually, John Dudley excels as both theoretician and experimentalist. Much of his work has been around identifying particular solutions to the nonlinear wave equations and to observe these experimentally in laboratory work. He has identified the same effects in a number of different disciplines, including in the behavior of rogue ocean waves. His ability to communicate with a range of different scientists has been absolutely key to his remarkable achievements of the last few years, about which I now plan to tell you. On the 20th of December 2013, the UN General Assembly's 68th session proclaimed 2015 as the International Year of Light and light-based technologies. The proclamation recognized how light-based technologies promote sustainable development and provide solutions to global challenges in education, energy, agriculture, and health. Light has revolutionized medicine, opened up international communication via the internet, and continues to be central to linking cultural, economic, and political aspects of the global society. The International Year of Light campaign has resulted in activities across 120 countries, indicating the extraordinary impact which it has had. John Dudley was the chair of the International Year of Light Steering Committee, and he personally drove the process from its inception through the UN resolution and up to the present day. The International Year of Light started in January at an event at the UNESCO HQ in Paris, where John Dudley spoke alongside 5 Nobel Prize winners and has run through the year. That global launch was followed shortly afterwards by UK celebrations at St. James's Palace, hosted by His Royal Highness the Duke of York, who is a patron of the Year of Light in the United Kingdom. Here at the University of Bath, students and staff have participated enthusiastically through the year by engaging with the public in a range of ways, both at open days on campus and also through activities in the city. John Dudley's research has been recognized by a series of appointments and awards, including being awarded the CNRS Silver Medal in 2013 and being president of the European Physical Society up until 2015. This year, he was awarded the Robert E. Hopkins Leadership Awards by the Optical Society, formerly the Optical Society of America, for his leadership, including, and I quote from their publicity, almost single-handedly creating the 2015 UNESCO International Year of Light. Chancellor, I present to you John Dudley, who is eminently worthy to receive the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
If you'd now like to give your speech.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, fellow graduates, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's difficult following Frank Duckworth. It must be like following KP Peterson when you're batting. Let me begin just by extending my deepest thanks to the University of Bath for this great honour and privilege for receiving the degree. I must also thank Professor Jonathan Knight for his very kind words, and especially for introducing the motivation behind the United Nations and UNESCO International Year of Light, which we're celebrating this year. Now, a good question, of course, is why 2015? Why and how does the United Nations decide to declare a particular year on a particular theme at a particular time? Well, the answer is that 2015 coincides with a number of anniversaries in the history of science that all occur at the same time. And one of them in particular that I'd like to highlight is the invention of optical fiber, the very small cables of glass that connect the world, and without which things like the internet, YouTube, Google, Twitter, Netflix, video on demand simply wouldn't exist. Now, I mentioned this particular anniversary because it gives me the chance to explain that it was the invention of a new kind of optical fiber right here in Bath about 20 years ago. So I think, Professor Knight, we need a party at some point next year to celebrate this, that had such an impact on my own career, trying to understand how waves of light propagating in this fiber behaved in a non-linear way. It's been a real pleasure to work in this field for me and to see how these photonic crystal fibers have had such an influence on so many different fields of science and biology, chemistry, astronomy, and so on. Now, this example of the optical fiber shows just how beautifully how one area of science can impact on another, but it also shows the need for a long-term perspective when assessing the impact of research. It's research performed many decades ago, 50 years ago in the case of optical fiber, that now transforms our lives and transforms society. In fact, we don't really appreciate it, but when we're taking a selfie with a mobile phone, were actually using the results of physics first pointed out by Einstein over 100 years ago. So you shouldn't really be thinking of Steve Jobs when you take a selfie, you should be thinking of Albert Einstein. It's because light itself is so important in many different areas of science and society that it was selected for the topic of an international year. And it really has been an amazing success with events in over 100 countries, reaching millions of people worldwide. In the United Kingdom, as well as patronage from the Duke of York, there have been 2 postage stamps issued on optical fibre and the cat's eyes reflector. And even before the official opening in Paris on the 19th of January last year, events in Bath were taking place through the Illuminate Bath celebration. Now, we in rich and developed countries enjoy the many advantages that something as apparently simple as light brings to society. But a parallel message of this international year is that there are billions of people, billions, 25% of the world's population, that simply don't have access to things that we take for granted, such as eyeglasses, or even lighting in their homes in the evening once the sun goes down. If you want to experience how important light-based technology influences your own life, try to take off your glasses and live for one day. It's very difficult. Now, the International Year of Light is already helping NGOs and governments to develop programs in these areas, and following up these next year will be of crucial importance. Scientists usually have the reputation of not always being comfortable engaging with social issues. We prefer to be quiet, and we stay comfortable in our laboratories and our offices. But the last year has shown me that, on the contrary to this perception, there are many scientists willing to take the step outside and to engage with the public, engage with society, and try to embark on the very difficult task of changing the minds of politicians. There are also many young people who are committed to this, and with all the young graduates here, I can't refrain from hoping that some of you will also take this possibility and start to act a little more widely and promote science to the general public, who need to understand it more and more. It's paradoxical that as society depends on science more and more, the public understand it less and less, and I think this has to change in the future. I'd just like to close now in thanking all the family and friends who have supported my own work, and my heartfelt thanks once again to the University of Bath Chancellor for this great honour today. Thank you very much.
Thank you to both our honorary graduates today. And I now declare this congregation closed for the presentation of graduates and for the conferment of honorary degrees.